What's good? What's good? What's good? Thank you guys for joining the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 169, Clevon, of the Voice of the Fans podcast. Can you believe it? The weeks just keep adding up, man. Uh, Fans, in this episode, we're going to do a recap of the NFL. We're going to give our power rankings this week's NFL for the season thus far. We're going to talk about the week in the NBA. Also, give our power rankings for the NBA. And we got a question, man, Clevon. I'm going to let you chew on this one for a little bit. If you saw these two guys lined up on the wall and you ready to start your 5-on-5 matchup full court, are you taking Kevin Durant or Steph Curry? Who are you taking? Who are you taking? Don't let them know it yet, but we're going to ask that question here in a little bit. That's what I want. That's a question on the table that's been bouncing around the atmosphere for the last few days, Cleveland, and I want your real answer. Let the fans know which direction we're going. We're also going to get into some fantasy football talk. My kick, I don't know if my kick is going to get it done. We might just be running out of weeks. If we were playing 17 weeks, I might get in. But in the fantasy football fans, it's only 15 weeks to the playoff time. And there's been some slippage. I'm not at the top. Cleveland, where you ranked at right now?
Let's not worry about where I'm at. You should worry about trying to get in the playoffs, Playboy. Worry about that first before you start worrying about where I'm at.
Well, I thought the fans might want to know.
Well,
There's been some
in the playoffs is where I'm at. How about yourself, Cam? Where you at?
I'm a game or two out of the playoffs
So
right now.
You're not in the playoffs?
I'm a game or two out.
Okay, so you're not
now.
in the playoffs.
As
so
of
no.
That
was a yes or no. That was a yes or no question. Are you in the playoffs, Cam?
As of this very moment, I am a game or two out.
Okay, so no.
If this playoff started today,
see how I phrased the question in a yes or no fashion, yet you failed to answer the question in a yes or no fashion. That was kind of strange.
I answered the question. I answered the question. What are you talking
Cam,
about?
Are you in the playoffs? Yes or no?
As of this moment.
You see how you just
as of this moment
pontificating
folks.
About what it is that you might or could or should have done. No, I'm just asking, are you in the playoffs? And the answer is no. Okay. Moving right along.
We're gonna get to our fantasy football conversation. We're gonna get to that, fans. And how there's been some slippage at the top. It's a mixture of nobodies up there, and I'm ashamed that I'm in this position I'm in right now. I'm appalled right now. But we're gonna have that conversation later. I want to give a shout out to the guys at HNB Media for producing the show, doing what they're doing on the backside. I want to thank those guys. And again, today we're gonna talk. We got the question of the day in the NBA. We're gonna ask that question. We got a numbers game. We got going to take you guys back in history. But as all each and every week, Cleveland, we start off with our numbers game. It's December 8th, 2021, week 169. When you think of the number 8, Cleveland, who comes to your mind first and who wore that number the best?
Person that comes to mind first is Kobe at his fiercest, and who wore it best? Probably Kobe Bryant when he was wearing it.
It's hard to argue that one. It's hard to argue with that one. But when number 8, when I think of that number, the first person that comes to my mind is Lonnie Shelton. You probably don't know anything about Lonnie Shelton, the power forward for the Seattle Supersonics. You probably don't remember him. But it was Lonnie Shelton. And then, as always, Cleveland just overlooks anybody that went to the University of Washington. So when I see Napa, when I'm up there and I see Napa, I'm gonna let him know. Cleveland, he doesn't even come to mind when he thinks of that number 8. But yes, we had a legend, Steve Young, obviously, the gifted lefty. But yes, Kobe Bryant in the number 8 jersey. For what, those 6-7 years from 96 to 2003, 7 years.
The bulk of his championships is actually the three-peat was in the 8.
Ooh, that was a bad man. And then number 69. Who's the first person you think of when you think of the number 69?
A former Seahawk, Jared Allen comes to mind.
Really?
As far as who really wore it the best. I mean, I think he has the most sacks wearing that number, so I'll give it to him.
Yeah, he was definitely more recognizable than Tim Crumry. But Tim Crumry, the lasting memory of Tim Crumry is his ankle flapping around in the Super Bowl, like when the Bengals lost to the Niners. I mean, true football fans remember that. I'm not sure if you remember that game when Joe Montana, another one of the comebacks, his John Taylor for a slant for the go-ahead touchdown to win the game with seconds on the clock.
Yeah, Cam, I'm sure you don't remember the play before that. Number 24, Billups dropping a sure interception in the end zone, which would have sealed the game. You probably don't remember that either. But me being a true football fan, can reminisce about those type of what could have been moments. Yeah, second down.
Did you? I mean, how you gonna say I don't remember that? That was that was a great game. I was rooting for the
straight to the slant to John.
Yeah,
you went straight to the slant like everybody does, but nobody remembers like 45 seconds before that. Game should have been over.
Well, it should have, could have. I mean, that not many people with losers mentality remember what could have happened or what it could have been. I mean, okay. I bet you're still hung up on what's my man under the bucket trying to get the basket for the Bulls. He had 4 shots at it. How am I having a brain fart at this particular moment? But you know who I'm talking about, who took 4 shots at the bucket to finish off the Bulls and didn't make one of them. And then Jordan came in for the block on the 4th one, and he was the man for the day.
No, I'm not dwelling on that one. Whatever you're talking about, your gibberish is
Number 54 for the Knicks.
Gibberish. Well, yeah, sure.
Jeez, babies. Anyway, Clevon, we had something happen for the first time all season. The Lions were able to finish off Kirk Cousins and your Minnesota Vikings. What do you guys say about that?
Happy for them. They've had so many tragic losses. I mean, if you add them all together, they might have 3 or 4 wins, Cam. I mean, one of them was a 66-yard field goal to end the game. Yeah, I mean, they've had some rough losses, so to see them get some type of miraculous victory, which I didn't see coming, but they converted and they got it, man. Good for them. Go home and cry and celebrate.
Go. Was so dismissive. So dismissive. We thought you'd be in a better mood after your Seahawks got a win. So dismissive of the Lions. Jared Goff driving down and getting the game-winning touchdown. You so dismissive of that. Why are you so dismissive of that?
No, I'm just saying I'm happy for them. They've had numerous opportunities to win games. They always find a way to lose them. Sometimes not even of their own doing. Sometimes you're just on the back end of the greatest kicker in the history of the game. Those kind of things happen, but the fact they were able to put it together and actually have a drive that ended in a victory, happy for them. Go home and cry. Reminisce about the moment.
Wow. So you're going to find yourself in this situation here very soon, right now. Scraping up again. I wonder what life is going to be without Russell. I wonder, you got a glimpse of what it could be with your backup quarterback or a quarterback who hasn't missed any game for a decade. You're going to see far too soon what life is like without Russell. And maybe you'll be more appreciative of a W.
Yeah, and I feel you, and depending on how a certain quarterback in 305 finishes out the rest of the season, I mean, you may even get an opportunity to get a whiff of what that's like.
Oh, what all of a sudden
At least, I'm sorry. Steve Nelson might get a chance to get a whiff
you
of it.
trying to get you trying to poach now? All of a sudden now you're trying to poach. Now you interested in Tua up in the Northwest?
No interest in Tua whatsoever. I mean, we have our quarterback for the present. So
You guys got a quarterback
I'm
for
just saying the
another
way the season
4 weeks.
unfolds will should be quite interesting. But that is one of the preferred destinations. Should number 3 leave the 206?
That's way down the line before we had that discussion. What do you think about the Ravens' loss on the miss the miss 2-point conversion? Should they have kicked the field goal to tie, or should they have gone for the win? You like to go for the win? What's your thoughts on this one? I like
I
them
like
going for the win.
the reason they went for the win. Harbaugh said, "Man, we had no corners. That wasn't going to work. They ran a play. The play worked. Execution was not there."
Well, if the execution wasn't there, the play didn't work, did it?
No, you're misunderstanding me. They called the right play. It's just the execution of the play didn't work.
Was it the right play?
Well, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback, you think he misses that throw? Think Russ misses that throw? I mean, that wasn't very far. So that's what I'm
It
saying.
wasn't. It wasn't. It was a. I mean, again, it could have been a
I'm
call,
not
but
sure I would have missed that throw, Cam. I mean, how did he miss him so badly?
because he was jumping up and trying to avoid
Okay,
getting
well, hey man,
thrown to the ground.
I can't speak to all of that. But if the question was, should they have gone for it? Yeah, and you clearly see why they should have gone for it. So, you know, the execution was poor.
Yeah, well, they didn't get it. We'll see if that comes back and bite them. But sometimes the Ravens don't always put their foot on the throat like they should. And they allow teams to get back in the game. And their defense without Humphreys, their defense is a little wounded right now. So we'll see if they can right the ship, man, because they're gonna have to get ready. Because in the AFC, I mean, the old king is back, but this time it's with a different appeal. It's with a little different makeup. We got different chicks running around the fortress now. We got the little Mac Jones, the rookie, who I believe the quote was,
I'm
he's
sorry, you
all
said
right.
we?
No, I didn't say we. I
Yeah, you
said
said
they got.
we.
No, I didn't
Yeah,
say
you
it.
said we.
No, I do. We have
No,
to
we're
roll
on
that
tape,
one back.
homie. I
We have,
got I got to rewind and we're
we,
live. No, you said
we have
we.
to.
You said we.
No, the Patriots. They got Mac Jones.
No, you said we, but go on. You can switch it up now to the Patriots. Okay.
The Patriots got Mac Jones leading them. And if I remember correctly, the term you used for Mac Jones was he's all right? Isn't that the term you used for him?
Yeah.
He's all right. Like he didn't even get the all right. He spelled it. He was phonetically correct. He's all right. Like you was hesitant, but now after winning 7 games straight, what's your thoughts on Mr. Mac Jones and Mr. Bill Belichick, the one leading the helm? What's your
Well,
thoughts on
well,
them?
well.
And they're running.
Kudos to Coach Belichick for winning the game, where his quarterback only threw 3 passes.
That was a game plan. Run it down the throat.
Which, if you understand where I'm coming from, means I don't have to answer the second part of your question.
The game plan was to run the ball down their throat.
And they did effectively.
Yeah,
Great. Good
what are we
job.
deviating from? Yeah, exactly. They
So
pounded them.
so so why are you trying to bring Mac Jones in this conversation when he threw 3 passes?
Oh, because he's been a part of the team that is.
Because he was
He's the
calling
quarterback of the
out the
team.
run plays so
He's
eloquently.
he is the quarterback of the team that has won 7 straight.
Okay,
Or
well,
so
cool.
do you want to give him the credit, or you want to give the coach the credit? Which one you want to give credit to? Now, just answer that one question for me. Which coach? Which you want to give? You want to give Mac Jones the credit, or you want to give Bill Belichick the credit for this 7 game winning streak? What would you like to do, Clevon?
I'm not going to give either one of those two people the credit. It's a team effort. The team wins.
You don't want to give either one of them credit. For his lifetime, he's been preaching to me that it's the players that make a difference. Now he don't want to give the player no credit. He said, "Coach, I didn't expect him to give Bill Belichick any credit." I got you, Bill. Now he don't want. You can't even say the play. It's the players. What's up? Would you want to answer the question? Let me ask again. Let me ask this question. The Patriots won 7 games straight. Is that more due to the coaching, or is that more due to the players out there?
The players as a collective on the team, not necessarily one player being Mac Jones, which you were trying to single out as the reason for this resurrection. And I just said no. It's a team thing.
Name somebody else on the team, offense or defense.
Harris.
Yeah, dig deep for that one, didn't you?
Not too deep. He's right there on the surface. He scored a touchdown yesterday or 2 days ago. Harris.
Well, the Patriots is on an incredible run. Bill Belichick doing a heck of a job coaching these guys. It's pretty amazing what they've done. So let's talk about those Seahawks. They beat up on the Niners. You were surprised by that, weren't you?
I was. It was an emotional victory. Cost me a little bit of money, but at the same time, I was happy for them. They finally, kind of put a complete game together and were able to do something I didn't think they were capable of at this point in the season.
Okay. So what does that say? Are they back on the bandwagon? Are fans back on the bandwagon up there? Are they, they try to ride out the
Not
season?
bandwagon fans here in the 206, Cam. I mean, we're just riding the wave, wherever the wave takes us. That's where
Just
we'll
riding
be.
away.
We'll still be supportive of wherever we end up.
Okay. We talked about the Ravens. WFT beats the Raiders. The Washington football team beats the Raiders. Tell me what your thoughts are on Chargers beating the Bengals. What'd you see out of that game?
What I saw is that the Chargers need to figure out very quickly that some of these games that you think are kind of put away early, you got to play for the full 60 minutes. And in addition, you need to stop turning the ball over like crazy, man, or you're going to end up on the outside looking in.
Turnover. Just how they got turnover to take a big lead. Giving up turnovers, let those guys right back in the game. I think it's something that they'll learn from and they'll get better with. You got to remember, this is Herbert's only his second year. So there's some things that he's going to learn and he's going to be better at that. He's only scratching the surface of greatness. He's going to be better at some of this stuff moving forward. Yeah,
As time progresses, he will get better and he will learn and he will maturate. Cam, it's a learning process. Sometimes you just have to be patient.
Yeah. When you see greatness, you just got to enjoy it. But you know that he'll kind of dial in those turnovers, or you expect that he'll dial down those turnovers, and then the team can just continue to be explosive. They need a running game. This is what they. I mean, they have Austin Eckler. He's good for about 60, 70 yards per game rushing, but they need somebody to take it over the top to give them that 100 yards rushing. Mm-hmm. And they just ain't found the guy in whether draft or free agency this season. But that's what they need, somebody else that they can give the ball to and help her out. So we'll see if they find that person here before the playoffs or somebody emerges on the team before the playoffs. But looking at the week that was, we talked about the Saints. We didn't talk about the Cowboys routing the Saints essentially. We got the Cardinals getting another win, beating the Bears. You picked Cincinnati to beat the Bengals or Cincinnati to beat the Chargers. What were you thinking about?
Just the productivity of the Chargers the last couple of weeks. I wasn't impressed. And then going across the country, and to be perfectly honest, it was a little bit of a seesaw battle there for quite a bit. So I wasn't that far off.
It was a seesaw battle. They were up 20. They were up 24, and then went up 17. Where was the seesaw?
When they lost that 24-point lead and it was tied going to halftime. And a few turnovers and mishaps. I mean, Joe Burrow broke his thumb. I mean,
I don't know if it was
on his throwing
broken, but
hand. So that's important. So
well, I mean that's still an L for you.
yeah, no excuse. Not for. I mean, yeah, in that column for sure. Yeah, I mean, hopefully the Chargers can take something from this and continue on with that momentum, so they can get to 10, 11 wins this year.
Um, okay, what if the Jaguars got ran out by the Rams? San Francisco did in your Seahawks. Breathe a little life into those guys. The Chiefs, I mean, the Chiefs look like they're back, don't they?
For the time being, yes. It's gonna get a little colder, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, yeah.
Okay. So for our picks for this week, Cleveland, you did pretty good. You got 12 out of 15.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad out of you. So my 10 out of 15.
So I have like a 9-game lead right now.
Do you have a 9-game lead for what?
Yeah. In the picks.
No, it's not quite that high. Where you get 9 games at?
I was just throwing that out there. I know I have a lead, but you're not really. I mean, you're kind of
Oh yeah, you do have a
slow
9
talking. So I mean, what are we talking about here? Yeah, I had a great week, but I mean, does that increase my lead by how many? I mean, what is my lead at this point? Is what I was asking.
Listen.
I assumed it wasn't double digits because I haven't, we haven't had that many weeks, and you're not bad. So I was just asking, like, 7, 9 games, or where we
Oh
at?
wow. I mean, you were 3 for 3 last week. We'll leave it at that for 100%. So good. I was two for 3, 66%. Pretty good. Pretty good. My picks against the spread this year has been absolutely awful. I'm in
Okay.
the 40% range. Cleveland is in the 70% range, which is a pretty damn good. He's doing. He surprised himself, but that's what he wanted to hear, fans. He's surprised by his own efforts.
No,
So
the Snoqualmie Casino says different now that we have sports betting here. So
okay, are you going out? You doing sports betting now from your phone, or
every Saturday, yeah, every
you have
Saturday,
to go out?
every Saturday.
He said every Saturday. That's it. That's the spot. Um, so picks against the spread, you got that. Our picks for the season, he's up 67% to 64%.
Mm-hmm.
So that got to change. And then he even won the confidence picks either as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had Philadelphia, Minnesota, Arizona, Tampa Bay, and the Rams for the biggest point with 5. Well, Minnesota lost, and that took 2 points away. I had Philadelphia, Arizona, Minnesota, Dallas, and Tampa Bay. Again, Minnesota lost. That took me down to 15 points. So that's what that is. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that right as well. Um, I'm actually leading the confidence pick 79%, 75% for the season. So, but we're gonna get that right. Going into this week or coming out of this week, we did rank our give our supremacy ranking, for the NFL teams. Um, we both agree on the Packers. We agree on the Buccaneers and the Cardinals should be 2 and 3. However, you have the Buccaneers, I have the Cardinals. Oddly enough, we also agree on the Chiefs and the Patriots being 4 and 5. However, however the excuse me. However, I have the Chiefs at 4. You have the Patriots, or I have the Chiefs and the Patriots at 5. You have the Patriots at 4 and the Chiefs at 5. Why do you have the Patriots over the Chiefs? Just curious.
The Chiefs are just kind of getting their legs back underneath them. Like you said earlier, Patriots have been on a little bit of a winning streak, and they're a little bit better of a cold weather team. But as I think of it, the Chiefs do play in the AFC West, and that's LA and Vegas, and
I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Like LA, I mean, what?
So other than the Broncos, I mean, I haven't looked at their schedule to see how many cold weather games they have left. I'm just saying they're just starting to get their legs beneath them, and the Patriots have been kind of grinding it out in that that they're trying to get back to that golden ticket that they get every year, or used to get every year when they had Tom Brady as their quarterback. They're trying to get back to that kind of status, and they've been plugging along and playing well. So that's why that's the differentiation.
This guy here. That's okay. Well, that's good to know, man. We'll see how that holds up. That logic that you got. It is LA. You know what? You wish you was down here in LA right now. That's what I can say. Fans, let's take a little quick break right now.
Oh wait! I'm so sorry. We still on football.
What happened? What I miss?
I didn't know what the next topic was going to be. I didn't know if we were switching off of football or.
We're gonna go into the NBA next. What did I miss? Did you have something? Did you have something you wanted to discuss?
Well, I mean, I was just one of the teams that won me some money this week was the Miami Dolphins. I didn't know if you just didn't want to talk about that or.
No, they're banned. They're banned for the show. They've been banned for the rest of the season.
That two was on a 4-game winning streak. I mean,
they're banned from the show.
This the playoffs. I mean, you've been talking so bad about him. Steve Nelson is just, I just get all these emojis of just laughter about
And here you are continuing
your premature jump off of the bandwagon.
No, it wasn't a jump off the bandwagon.
I said very early you didn't deserve Jalen Waddle, and now you're seeing why. He brings a whole other mindset and culture to what's going down in the 305. And that defense is, fired up. I'm just saying. But we can move on to NBA. Let's do that. Because I know it's a sore subject for you. After all that time vested. It's like 3 feet from gold. You know what I'm saying, Cam? It's like he was right there. He just jumped off.
No, we focus on.
We can move on. Let's move on to NBA though.
If you really want, we're gonna circle back. If you really want to bring up the Dolphins, we'll see how
no. Maybe next week when they win their 5th or 6th straight game. Yeah, we'll circle back again.
Yeah, because 4 games really don't impress me.
I know 4 games don't impress you at all. You didn't want to mention it. That's what I'm saying. But we can go to the NBA.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking. The Dolphins are banned from the show. You know that they've been banned for.
I know 6 weeks for many reasons, mostly emotional. I understand.
He said mostly emotional. No, it's because
think about 4 straight games. I mean, they were out of nowhere. Kind of playing the way they are, and I mean, it's just a real resurgence and energy down there. But we don't got to talk about it, man. Let's move on to the NBA.
We're gonna move on to the NBA. We're gonna take a little break here.
That's what we should.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about CJ McCollum, his diagnosis. We're gonna talk about the Kings of LA. We're gonna talk to the kings of the crypto when we come back right now. So
Sacramento Kings. Yeah, let's talk about the
no,
Kings
no,
of
no,
LA.
no, no,
Kings of California. Is that what you meant? LA Kings.
no, no, no. Don't even fix your breath to say that. The Kings of LA, that's who we're going to talk about. So, fans, stick and stay. Right now, we're going to play some cuts for you and enjoy them while we take a little break right here. All right, Clevon?
Sounds like a plan.
You going to take your five or what?
45. Be right back.
Yo, you ready?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, fam. Thank you guys for sticking with us. The Voice of the Fans podcast, week 169, Clevon. Thank you guys for sticking with us. Clevon, did you hear about CJ McCollum, man, and his diagnosis with the collapse for lung?
It's horrible. I'm actually going through that with my dad at present, so I understand the severity of that and all the bronchoscopy that can, take place with regards to that. So it was very ironic that the timing was kind of crazy because the way that they explained it for someone younger going through it made me understand it a little bit more with my dad, and that's not no joke. And certainly for someone that needs to play 40 minutes a game running up and down the court, that's pretty serious. So fortunately he bounces back in ample time and can resume his career playing at a high level.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I don't know the severe. Um, I don't know how long this is supposed to keep him out of play, but I mean, it was him and Dame, and now if he's not there, it's just Dame by himself. Um, you know, he already hasn't been playing every game of the season, so he's wanting to do this. What's going to happen? I don't know. Just looking down into the future, it's a terrible thing what happened to families and something like this happens. And wish them the best. I'll just leave it at that. Stephen Curry is will soon become the all-time leader in three-point shooters, three-point shots, I guess. What's your thoughts on that? And do you remember when NBA the three-point wasn't a part of the game?
I will answer both of those questions. Congratulations to Steph. He has torched and abused that 3-point line like No other player in the history of the game deserves all of the accolades and all of the things that come with that. And I absolutely 100% do remember when they incorporated the 3-point line. You know, one of my favorite players and fellow neighbor on Mercer Island, a guy named Downtown Freddie Brown was one of the first ones to really off the bench kind of abuse that 3-point line. So glad to see the evolution of it, and I think Steph definitely deserves it.
Yeah, man. It's congratulations to him. Do you know who he will be surpassing in this 3-point on the 3-point um, shots taken mark?
I would have to say either Ray Allen or Reggie Miller. I would have to assume.
That's Ray Allen. Yeah, he's long past Reggie Miller. But believe it or not, he's Steph Curry in comparison to how the game has changed and how effective. Well, I wouldn't say how effective, just how the game has leaned towards the 3-point shooting. Steph Curry took 800 shots last season, like 803, I think it was. And your boy Chase Young, was he wrestling with the dogs last season? Um, Also, DeMar DeRozan, inner health and safety protocol. What's your thoughts on that? And do you think DeMar is going to get only one game suspension or not? He only missed one game?
No, I mean he's missed a few more games than that. I mean, but we'll see what the how the protocol plays itself out.
I mean, we just had this happen not too long ago when all of a sudden it was a one gamer because somebody had to, let's say
Can't treat everybody the same, Cam. I don't know what you're alluding to, but I mean, not everybody gets the same type of privileges.
not
However,
even,
safety is 100% and the most important and prevalent thing. So do the right thing, take as many precautions as you need.
are the Clippers now the Kings of LA right now? Considering that beatdown they put on the Lakers the other night,
No,
huh?
they are not. There's some mitigating factors you don't know about, and I know there were a lot of people, and including myself. I'm as early as I don't say Wednesday or Thursday of last week. I don't know if Ty told you this, but we Laker Nation did reach out to see kind of what his interest is. Kind of watching the college football landscape and like how people just kind of like come back home or like you can just kind of Monte Cristo them kind of a deal. Like, hey, man, you want to come over here and do this, man, one more time. It's the last time you won a championship. Last time you coached LeBron and went to 4 straight. You know, but at the same time, I was kind of panicking, and a lot of Laker Nation was panicking a little bit. But now that I've had a chance to kind of sit back after that last beating they put on the Celtics, I kind of feel better about kind of where we're at. A little bit more realistic about it. But to answer your question, no, the Clippers are not the Kings of LA right now.
Are you sure about that?
The season doesn't start till after Christmas. You know that. And last I checked, it was December the 8th. So, and Kawhi's not playing in this season. So
Well, I think the Clippers show that they're certainly a better team than the Lakers by manhandling them like they did with Zubac
they did have a better game
and Hartenstein.
on that day. They did have a better game on that day. That's for sure.
Now it was just that day. It wasn't the whole game. It wasn't all game long. It's just now that day
They did have a
we
better
just
game
happened to
that
be
game.
we
Is
just
that is
happened
that
to
what you
be
want me
there.
to say? Yeah, they had a better game that game. Great
We
game.
we
Good
just
game.
happened to be there and they pulled it out. Okay.
They're not really having
Um,
that great of a year. No
well,
disrespect, Mr. Ballmer, but
speaking of your
happens.
squad, does that beating they put on Boston get Vogel off the hot seat?
It calms it down. It turns the temperature down a tad bit. Yeah, the level of expectation around Laker Nation, Purple and Gold. Genie and Magic and those guys. They feel a little bit differently about things. So yeah, it certainly turns the temperature down a tad bit. Not fully. It's still warm. Still warm
Still
to hot.
warm.
It's just not hot.
He just won a championship not more than 2 seasons ago, and now all of a sudden he got a lukewarm.
That's just a level of expectation around Laker Nation, around the crib,
Mm.
around the crib house.
Um, all right, the question that I want to know, everybody have been asking me about. I've been asking about this question. If you got two guys lined up on the wall, who you taking first? You taking Wardell, Stephen Curry, or Kevin, the Slim Reaper Durant?
Are we playing pickup hoop or NBA hoop?
Does it make a difference?
Definitely makes a difference.
Let's say we're playing pickup hoops
Oh,
in
KD,
NBA rules.
KD.
Okay, without question, that's easy. It was that easy.
It was that easy. Yeah.
No respect for the three-time champion.
Lots of respect for the three-time champion. He won two of them with KD, as I recall.
He did. He did. I'm trying to get some understanding of why you taking KD over Steph though.
Cam, as I've kind of analyzed this a little bit, and I do this hoop thing real in depth because um, I understand a little bit better than you, and just how much the individual players make such a significant impact on what happens ultimately. Outside of centers, I think Kevin Durant has top five unstoppable shot in the history of the game.
So when you say outside of centers, are you excluding Yusuf Nurkic and um, what's the MVP from last season thing? Jokic. Are those guys excluded from the conversation?
Those two are centers, but as I was saying, I'm talking about the totality of the history of the game. Other than centers, I think that Kevin Durant has uh, established himself as one of the top five most unguardable players in the history of the game outside of centers.
Okay. Um, I can't believe that it was that easy for you to make that decision, Curry Durant. So, Cleveland, last week you had the Suns, Golden State, the Jazz, the Nets, and the Bulls. This week you have the Suns, Golden State, the Jazz, the Nets, and the Bucks. Have the Bucks been that much better than the Bulls this past week?
Not that much better, but a little bit better. I mean, you're splitting hairs in that Eastern Conference. Once again, the Eastern Conference is, Joel Embiid gets healthy, gets his legs under him. It could that five spot could change.
And this week I have the Suns, Warriors, Nets, Bulls, and Heat. Only thing changing for me is this week is the Jazz. The Jazz is impressed, continue to impress actually, and kind of moved up to that spot. So that's it for our NBA conversation, Clevon. I do want to get into this week in history, man. Let's jump right into this, and we're gonna talk about the U now getting a new head coach, who that is, and how that happened, and then we're gonna talk about the fight that happened over the weekend. Javante Davis beat down Antonio Cruz. Yo, you ready, Riley? Mario Cristobal going back to Miami. What's your thoughts on Miami opening up the checkbook for Mario Cristobal, one of their old school players?
Love it. I love the way. Actually, I don't. I love the fact that Miami did that, given the way college football has moved towards a more coach heavy type of atmosphere. It was, yeah. After USC gave Lincoln Riley that Count of Monte Cristo type deal, and then all the coaches just started moving around. I don't think it would have happened otherwise if Lincoln wouldn't have went to USC. I don't think Miami even broaches the subject of trying to get Cristobal. I mean, he had a top 10 recruiting class last year. He has a top 10 recruiting class coming in this year. He plays with Phil Knight's money. So, the thought of trying to, woo him away from the University of Oregon probably never would have crossed their mind. But after these things started happening, perfect fit. The ultimate
Yeah.
hurricane. I mean, from like the throwback days, man.
Well, we'll see what kind of impact
His
it has.
lineage dates back to Jimmy and Mike
Right. Yeah, and
and
we'll see what
Jerome.
we'll see what type of impact he
Yeah.
has when those guys show up on the sidelines. How inspiring that is for the rest of these guys, and if this team can actually get back to some of what they once were.
They have tried with similar player coaches, not quite with the same result, but he's bringing cachet, so he's ready to get down.
Yeah, yeah.
Good
That
move.
it'll be interesting to see with the former offensive lineman of Dude in South Beach having because you've heard the stories where the quarterbacks have everything in mind. Everything comes to them, and it was kind of slotted a certain way that was happening for years. So now even after Danny Boy, people get to enjoy his parking space and everything else that has going on. Um, so we're gonna have Bama and Cincinnati, Bama versus Cincinnati, and Georgia versus Michigan. Who's moving on to the championship?
Bama in Georgia.
So we're gonna see a rematch of what we saw. What did you think of the last game?
Georgia was scared, and Alabama, they're groomed for this kind of thing, and they
Does
performed.
Alabama, does Georgia come back and win this time since they played them before?
No,
Okay. Did you see Gervonta Davis beat Isaac Cruz this weekend?
no.
You didn't watch the fight? Well, Gervonta Davis, I'll tell you,
It's
Staples
cool, man. I
Center.
only watch big fights, man. I don't want to hear about how your dude, was really classy and had a great performance, man. When you fight somebody, let me know.
I mean, the guy who was fighting got, he got replaced, so they had to fight somebody on a short notice.
Okay,
But um, he brought a lot of people out. He brought a lot of that black dollar was out on Sunday.
that's
Sunday
fantastic.
against the Chiefs and who did the Chiefs play? The Broncos. Like
Hmm.
he brought fans out that night. So that
Is
was that
he, is
was
he gonna
pretty.
fight somebody in his next fight, or
I mean, we'll see. We'll see whoever we'll see who they end up fighting.
okay?
But I thought that was pretty good. I think I clearly thought he won the fight. It was no question that he won. He said he hurt his hand or something, but it is what it is.
That happens in boxing. You hurt your hand sometimes.
So this week, man, our prediction for this week, Clevon, we both have Minnesota beating the Steelers. You have Cleveland beating Baltimore. So this sounds like a little biased hate right now because I don't know any other time you beat Cleveland at anybody.
I have no reason to hate the Ravens. There's no bias hate whatsoever. I just think that they're out of cornerbacks, and I don't think they'll be able to establish their presence of authority against the Cleveland Browns. I think they'll be able to run the ball effectively, throw here and there, and just do just enough to win.
Interesting. I got Baltimore in that game. We both have Tennessee. We both have KC over the Raiders. We both have New Orleans over the Jets. We both have Dallas over the football team. I have Carolina, however, beating. Excuse
The
me.
Falcons, and I do not. I have Atlanta.
Yeah, I have Carolina beating the Falcons, and you have the Falcons beating Carolina. Uh, I think I think Carolina beats the Falcons because they're a stronger team. The Falcons are going to be coming off taking some punishment, although yeah, they're looking forward to that more punishment they're taking from Tennessee. I don't know how that works, but um, we got um, the other games we agree on: Seahawks, Denver. We agree the Chargers over the Giants. I thought you picked the Giants in this one.
Oh, for real? Yeah, not so much.
We agree on Cincinnati over the Niners, and you have
But if they
Buffalo over
don't beat
Tampa
the
Bay.
Giants, ooh man, yeah, you can get 5 minutes. You can get
Oh, you
five
said you saving
minutes.
it? You're saving it up?
I'm not saying no. I don't think
You
I don't
saving it
think
up?
they're going to beat
Because
them.
you
But
you
if
because
they
you ain't want
do,
to you didn't
but
want to
if
speak
they
about it. You haven't been
do,
wanting to speak about it for like 3 weeks now.
no,
So
I
you've been saving it up.
I pick the Chargers.
Yeah, I get it.
Obviously,
Yeah,
if they don't
I
win,
said I was surprised.
you will get 5 minutes.
I will get 5 minutes.
You get 5 minutes if they
Uh
don't beat the Giants.
huh. And then we both have Cincinnati. Why do you have Buffalo over the Tampa Bay? Didn't you see Buffalo on Sunday or Monday?
Yeah, they're mad.
And they're going to take it on Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes. Have you seen how Tom Brady reacts when he's kind of interrupted and not able to just kind of go into his thing and kind of when he's kind of interrupted, he's not the same dude. And Ed Oliver and those guys, yeah, they're going to interrupt what he does.
Have you? Do you know who the quarterback of the Bills is?
Yes, Josh Allen.
Yeah, and you got Tom Brady losing to that dude.
I have Tom Brady losing to the Buffalo Bills. This is not hoop, man. It's not a mano thing. It's a team game.
Is that what you tell your people? It's a team game.
No, Cam, I know the
Uh,
difference. See, you try to treat every sport the same. I know the difference. Football is a team game. NBA is not a team game.
but you trying to give one guy all the credit when you say he's a GOAT, the greatest of all time, and neglecting the team that he played for and the coaches that he
Seven
put him in the right
rings,
position.
7 rings,
See what I'm
and
saying?
won a
See
ring
what I'm
without
saying?
that other organization in the first year that he went there at 67 years old. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole other thing.
What do you have to do with the Packers in Green Bay? You have Green Bay win. Why do you have the Rams losing to the Cardinals? I mean, are you
Oh, I mean,
finally on board
Kyler's
with
healthy
Kyler
for
Murray?
now.
For now, you still being shaky with that for now stuff.
Yeah, well,
He didn't show
he's
you that
still
he
the
can stay healthy.
shortstop playing quarterback. So, I mean, it's getting longer into the season and colder. So those hits will, have a little bit more of an impact. But for now, yeah, he'll beat the Rams. He'll beat those guys.
He'll be so dismissive he is this week. Well, that's our picks for this week. Cleveland has, I have Baltimore +2, Carolina -2.5, and Cincinnati -1. You have Arizona. We both have Cincinnati, and you got ATL plus. What?
I will take the points. Yeah. I don't know what you're seeing in
Against
Carolina.
the Panthers. Against the
Because
Panthers.
there is no Christian McCaffrey, and Cam Newton had that one really spectacular week when he was awe-inspired to be back in the NFL and back in his hometown where everybody knew him and he could walk around and stuff, and they were high-fiving him. And then the NFL is unforgiving, man. And again,
The next week he was
football
game
players
off.
age in dog years. The next year he didn't have a good game. Next game was benched. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This isn't going well. It went well
Well,
for the first game. It was great. It was a great feel-good story. But yeah, man, physical specimen. I mean, if
the
he was doing
Panthers.
anything else other than playing NFL football, he would probably be a success. But not doing this.
Well, I got the Panthers pulling it out, and because I have no confidence in what Matt Ryan's doing anymore in Atlanta.
Well,
So I got the
look for Michael
Panthers.
Pitts has a big game.
Who?
Look for Kyle Pitts to have a big game.
Oh, the All-Star, the Pro Bowler.
No, I didn't say all that. I said look for him to have a big game. You're the one that
You
went
must have
all
picked. You must
crazy
have
on
picked him
that
in fantasy.
But yeah, no. I just said look for him to have a big game.
All right, fans. Well, you heard Clevon what he says. Look for him to have a big game. We'll see if he's now jumped up Kyle Pitts' bandwagon because we have
No.
the line.
Just this game. Just this game.
Okay. Well, one thing here, I'm gonna leave you guys with this quote. One thing you guys for tuning in once again to Voice of the Fans podcast. I'm gonna leave you guys with this quote here. If you can't outplay them, outwork them. That's Mr. Ben Hogan. Again, if you can't outplay them, outwork them. It means get your gym work as hard as you can. Work harder than the rest of the guys, Clevon, and then you stay focused on what you're doing. And I was trying to use this philosophy the last couple of weeks in fantasy football, but looks like I just might be a game short. Excuse me. Got something in my throat. So, Clevon, where are you in the fantasy football, man? You want to revisit this
In the
topic, man,
playoffs,
or
ready,
your
getting ready,
mom's a
gearing up for the
word until
playoffs,
play?
Cam.
You sure about
I'm
that?
just gearing up for the playoffs. That's what I'm doing.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that really. Um, let's see, where the fantasy football there? He says he's in the playoffs, which he is. He's a game up, fans. He's a game up. I'll give him credit for this one. This was a good season. Um, this was a good season by Cleveland, but there's been some slippage, so I can't let him, just completely walk away with this because there's been some slippage and he knows it, but he's refusing to acknowledge it. That's the thing. And here, let me. I'm trying to pull up the league standing. So where you say you're at, Cleveland?
In the playoffs is what I said. I didn't give a specific, number of
See,
seeding.
if the playoffs started today, I would be 2 games out.
In the consolation bracket,
2 measly games out.
you would be in the consolation bracket, probably like a 4 or 5 seed. In the consolation bracket.
This guy got jokes. But Cleveland, you've lost. You lost 4 in a row, man. What's up with that?
Cam, I don't pay attention to what everybody is saying, all that outside noise. I just know what our team is doing. Inside. We're all we need. We're all we got.
So cliche, so cliche. So you don't have much to say other than um, shit. The playoffs start next week. Are the playoffs next week? It is. Ah, might be out of the playoff.
Is it official? Is that is
I
that
might
was
be
that
out of.
is that we're looking at some official stuff? Like there's just no way for me to make the playoffs. Okay, so
Uh,
what you're telling the fans is that you're mathematically eliminated from even being in the conversation.
no, 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 no.
So
I didn't
maybe
say that
next
anything.
year we can talk about it.
I mean, we do have a settings button on this thing. Maybe 8 teams should get into the playoffs, have a round robin.
Okay, is there some type of like gesture you can do to kind of kind of cut it off, man? Is this the point where we play the boys to men at the end of the road? I mean,
Oh, listen
what
to
are you
this
doing
guy.
here?
All right, we heard enough of Mr. Clevon and his fantasy football talk.
I mean,
We'll
I'm
see
still in
what
the
happens.
playoffs, though.
Well,
I'll tell you how it goes, though. I mean, we can still talk about it if you're willing. If you're willing to still talk about how I'm doing, that's great.
listen to the clown. Well, we're gonna let him
If you
get
don't,
out of
I
here.
understand that too, though. But
Yeah.
please.
Fans, thank you guys for tuning in. Cleveland, let them know where they can find you, and you guys can have your fantasy football discussions.
Sure thing. In real time, in playoff mode, at Clevon Wonder on Twitter and Clevon Steele on Instagram.
It's
And
been
we'll also talk about what Cam might need to do, some improvements that I see just from looking from afar and being
oh
a
no,
colleague
now
and a
he now he,
co-host. Just
now
things
he
that he
wants to
can
give
improve
me
for the next
fantasy
season, and
football advice.
perhaps get
Now
into
he
the playoffs where everyone else is having fun.
now, it's gonna be tough dealing with this guy. But fans, thank you guys for tuning in to Voice of the Fans. Appreciate you, Cleveland, for 169 of these babies. Next week, 170. We're gonna have some more NBA content. We're gonna have some more NBA content. But keep an eye on these Clippers, man. I think they're the king of LA. They're gonna be the ones holding down crypto's center when it comes. Thanks, fans. Thanks for tuning in, Cleveland. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Take it easy, talk soon.